Welcome, everybody in the neighborhood. What's going on? Yes, cracking open a brew to start. Because when we're recording, sir. We sometimes record before you even hear this in your ear holes. Obviously, that would make the most sense. So we're recording on St. Patty's Day. I looked everywhere for Guinness and couldn't find it. So this is kind of like Canadian beer since we're doing a Canadian episode, but it's actually Jamaican, but it's just in a stubby bottle. My name is Tomcat, aka the Reptilian, and who else is on this fucking podcast?
You couldn't find Guinness on
I looked everywhere, man. And like I went to a grocery store, they had literally like shelves and shelves of beer.
Yeah.
But no Irish beer and no Guinness. Disappointing.
Weak. And Reverend Kaiju Anton coming into your ear holes as well. Simultaneously coming in your ear hole with Tom.
Yes, I bet you guys would enjoy that, wouldn't you? A fucking double team fucking by Tom and Anton.
dirty, strange perverts.
We're gonna fucking pig roast your ass.
Spit roast.
It's a spit roast. Did I say pig roast? That's disgusting.
You did say pig roast.
I'm sure.
I mean, same thing. Tomato.
I'm sure pig roast is a dirtier form of a spit roast.
Yeah, it's just when I don't. Never mind. I don't know.
So I got some red striped Jamaican beer, but it's in a stubby bottle, so it's kind of Canadian. I don't know why we just don't put all of our beers in these stubby bottles because it's amazing.
Tom's drinking a Jamaican beer because he's an island boy.
God, I hate those fucks. The stupidest, like, to go viral off of the stupidest freestyle ever. Like, I could freestyle that shit when I'm like 70 beers deep, almost dead, and I could sound better.
But you're not covered in bad decision tattoos.
Yeah, that's true. That gets you famous, I guess.
It's what makes you a SoundCloud rapper is just getting a whole bunch of tattoos that look awful.
Where are we going? Do you know where we're going?
Going to Newfoundland there, huh?
We're going to the Newfoundland. Goddamn Newfies. I can do it all right. I don't know. Fuck Newfies.
I feel like Newfie accents are difficult. It's European, but not quite.
Not quite white.
Not quite.
All right, so this will be a fun one. We've done some fun shit, some serious shit. But let's get into the mysterious Belle Island. Located amid the rugged, scenic vistas of the Conception Bay. That sounds sexy. Conception Bay? Conception Bay, yeah.
Yeah, making a bay.
Off the Avalon Peninsula, of Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. It's a tiny speck. It's a tiny speck of land called Belle Island, measuring just 6 miles in length and 2.2 miles in width. It nevertheless strikes an imposing presence with its soaring cliffs on all sides and its numerous sea caves and sandstone sea stacks. I don't know what a sea stack is. Is that like a bunch of money stacked up in a? I don't know. That's a stupid joke.
I actually also don't know what a sea stack is. Let's find out.
What is a sea stack?
I know what a Shri stack is. A Sharikataka.
And if you guys haven't...
It's like a plateau in the middle of the water. So, like, if you see not quite an island, but like a rock, an island by a rock formation just hanging out in the water.
Aren't those dudes American? They're American, right?
I don't know. They're just a couple of fucking honkies.
Why do they sing like they're Jamaican? What is this thing with white people copying Jamaican accents to make rap fucking sounds out of their mouth?
Every fucking one of those shitheads just fantasizes that they're Bob Marley.
It's fucking retarded. I don't think they don't even know who Bob Marley is. I bet.
Didn't you see their horrible dreadlocks?
Well, that's not just because you have dreadlocks does not mean you're Bob Marley. Look at all the stupid assholes.
You want to be a Rastafarian, or you just want dreads because you're an idiot.
It's true. I bet you would do dreads if you could.
I had dreads when I was a teenager.
I bet you did. I can guess that.
I was still really chubby, and I got called the dude from Counting Crows once, and was like, "These are coming out now."
I've had long hair when I was an emo kid, of course. I've never had the patience to grow it as long as I could to have dreads, and dreads are pretty dirty. You can keep them clean, but pretty much when you're done with them, you have to cut all your hair off.
So I didn't. I backcombed them out because my hair is too straight to hold dreadlocks.
Yeah.
So I basically sat there because I didn't want to cut all my hair off. I sat there for 6 hours combing them out.
Holy fuck. That would take
hurt
forever.
Like a motherfucker.
That would take forever.
Yeah.
And look who it is, like I fucking said.
Dusty boy.
Yeah, so this is a creepy island, and it's amid these sea stacks, and for the most part seeming to be almost unapproachable with this jaggedy rocky exterior, as well as for its rich diversity of seabirds coming here to roost. Oh, is roost mean fuck?
Roost means like nest, I believe.
They fuck.
Yeah,
it's pretty much
spawn,
fucking
roost, nest, whatever.
Yeah, so yet for all of its wild charm and rugged scenic beauty, the island also has its share of dark secrets. And indeed, this windswept slash of rock has managed to gather about itself a reputation for being among the most haunted places in Canada. And I've never heard of this place, actually, surprisingly.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, you were the one that told me about it, so.
I was looking up different types of stuff, and I was looking up what should we get into next. Let's do something fun. We just did the Nazi nurses, and that one was pretty sad and just a dark episode. Like we said, we were gonna get into some very dark stuff eventually, and try to make as much light as we can. But you can't always make light of dark situations all the time. But 80-90% of the time, we can do it. And for all the listeners, if you haven't yet, go on to the Strange Brew podcast on YouTube and watch the St. Patty's Day live special, because it was a riot. Make sure
that shit went off the rails.
Yeah, so make sure to tune into that, because it's a lot of fun. And we also have the St. Patty's Day podcast about the mythical monsters of Ireland. It's a lot more fun to watch those type of specials on YouTube. So obviously this is supposedly one of the most haunted places in Canada. I thought the most haunted place in Canada was Carla Mocha's butthole.
Ayo.
Bell Island had been long considered to be exactly what it looked like, merely just a barren sea trashed lonely rock, until 1896 it was found to be a rich source of iron. She's made of iron, sir. Do I still have that? I probably do. Where is it? Do I have it?
You gotta go down to the mines. You gotta bring out some iron.
I don't have it, but she's made of iron, sir. She can't sink.
Yeah, because what do we know? What do we know about heavy metals? They're buoyant. Oh, wait, they're not.
Throwback to our Titanic episodes that we did. We did 2 of them.
Yes.
Always add this out of the audio. I enjoy that you come on, Dutch. I really do. Still, just download those episodes still, so we get the download still. But no, we appreciate when you jump on. We were talking about just to shout this out really quickly. We were Anton, one thing is funny. We were talking about what's that fuck's name? The stupid alien man. What was his name? Why can't I think of this? Ashtar, the Galactic Commander, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking, he's like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, and he's supposed to be Jesus. And then Dutch is like, called him, he's like, Hitler's Jesus. And Juan's like, let's edit that out.
Oh my.
Okay, so. And it was a source of iron, so obviously, what people strive for is materials from the earth to core it out and, kill the planet slowly. And so iron ore, before long, obviously, iron ore mines began popping all around the island, with the Bell Island supporting 6 mines in its heyday. These mines were very ambitious, spreading out into a spiderweb of tunnels beneath the ground and even under the sea.
Under the sea.
Was that I feel like, you hear about Disney, right? Was it 5 people
4
got arrested? 4
in that article, but I also read that it was like up to 100 people that were being investigated, but 4 were actually arrested right off the bat
for child trafficking people they were arrested for.
Yep. And the Alex Jones that lives within my heart just did an angry little dance.
Yeah, it just seems like everything's being exposed, and I don't side with anyone during this war, but we like to just spit a little knowledge at you or get you to think about maybe a certain things and different ideas. We don't want to alienate anyone, but Putin did a speech and he pretty much called out the New World Order and said that it was pretty. My buddy sent to me and he's like, check this out, this is crazy. And he's saying,
haven't I been mentioning that to you for a hot minute now? Once all this shit started, is that there was a possibility that it's because Putin was the last holdout against the NWO?
Well, it's really weird because he was literally talking about how they're trying to eradicate the population and population control and kill innocent people, eradicating the earth and how these rich elites in power. I'll have to send it to you. I posted on my Instagram story at the Raptillion for the people. It's very political, so if you don't want to go into that realms, don't follow me, but follow Strange Brew Podcast on Instagram. But I posted the video. I said if this was transcribed right, it's pretty intense that he said this stuff about the elites around the world. Pretty crazy stuff going on right now in the world.
Yeah, and I will specify that I do stand with some people during this conflict. I stand with the innocent people are in harm's way.
Yes.
But as far as governments go, fuck them all.
Mm-hmm. I 100%. That's what I've always said. Like in the videos I've done about what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, I said I stand with the innocent people that are caught in this proxy war over power and money and amongst other things like biotech labs and stuff like that. But that's a topic for a Patreon episode, for a rant episode for sure. So make sure to jump
once again, innocent people are caught in the crossfire of the oligarchs of both the West and the East. So
100%, man. 100%.
Nothing changes.
So obviously they build all these mines. Pretty crazy, pretty ambitious, especially with the look of the island and how it is a barren wasteland, technically. And so they start even building tunnels underneath the sea. And this is in 1896. So obviously it spread further in the 1900s. But the fact that this was ambitious, and it's pretty crazy that they did this stuff. And maybe one day it's been overdone, but maybe we'll talk about Oak Island because that's got some weird shit to do with it too. But I think it's been really overdone.
My beef with Oak Island is the same beef that I have with Ghost and Sasquatch shows, where it's like, there's no breaking news that's going to happen on those shows. If they find something, you're going to hear about it a week before the episode ever airs.
No, I know. And it's like, me and Chelsea were really into it and watched it for I think 4 seasons. And I was like, they ain't finding shit. They found a fucking coconut hair underneath the fucking ground. Oh my God. And then it keeps going. The fact that there's another season now. And it's just like, what is happening right now? Honestly, why are you guys still there? You guys spent all your money, I thought.
Dude, from this article, I'm realizing why it's so hard to do a proper Newfie accent, because it's a combination of Irish, English, Scottish, German, and Estonian.
It does sound like that. It's just this amalgamation of all these different cultures, because those
were the cultures working the mines. So it stands to reason that they're all gonna interbreed, and that's how you get that weird fucking convoluted Newfie accent.
Also, laziness. They showed up on the shores and they're like, all right, I'm good here. I don't want to walk any further. I guess a Joe Rogan joke where they're like, all right, I think we're good here. They came on the island and they're like, this is the first thing we found. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to venture inland. I'm settling right here with my family. I got my Irish wife. I'm British. My sister, she's Estonian. And we all fucked and we made kids. It's nice. And you know what? I didn't want to keep walking.
You know what's funny? This is a counter argument to Joe Rogan's whole the East is where people just settled because they didn't want to walk any further. It's or the West is also where people who kept getting kicked out of every fucking town that they settled into went.
Yeah, it's true. Because they didn't want to fuck with the indigenous people.
Not even that. I'm sure they did, but I'm sure there were a bunch of people that were just gigantic pricks that when the town settled, they were like, yeah, you've been on the trail with us for 3 months and we all hate you. So keep going.
That's true. You can just stop here. And it's just this annoying ass guy with his family and his son just kicks everyone in the shins. And he's like, hey, you're done. Yeah. You're done. You can stay here.
Yeah, and this guy's like, we can't cross those mountains. It's winter. No, you'll be fine. Go ahead.
I want to keep my scalp.
Hey, white men are the ones that started the fucking scalping trade. I don't want to hear it, honky.
Yeah, it's true. What? I feel like I've heard that before. Who started?
No, it is. That's the truth. No, white. So it started by white.
Spanish did
because they would get money for scalps the same way you would get money for pelts. Yeah, Spanish or white people.
And then the indigenous people were like, you know what? I like this practice. It seems fun. Let's do it to them.
No, it was retribution. It was them basically being like, fuck you. We're gonna start this now.
No, it would have been badass cutting off dicks, man. Keeping those for treasures. Like fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. Just keep them in your freezer for a bit.
I'll say like that scene in Your Highness where he's just wearing the Minotaur dick around his neck the entire time.
I love that movie. I watched it last year when I was I think I was high on mushrooms. And speaking of that, I just got mushrooms. The site's always been good, but I paid for a half ounce and they gave me a quarter. So I emailed them and I was like, you guys have always been good, but you forgot something and I want it shipped to me as soon as possible.
What'd they say?
They haven't emailed me back yet, but their B+ magic mushrooms, their site is really good. They've always been good to me. Their shipping is really reasonable. $13 comes from BC, and they recently just put mushrooms on their site. So I'm sure they better give me my fucking, either refund me my money or give me my goddamn rest of my mushrooms. But I'm excited because I'm going to start microdosing, and it's going to be a fun time. And eventually, when Anton gets some, we're going to do a live stream with Billy, and I'm going to make him do something.
Oh my God, dude, Billy's going to freak out.
He does not want to. I was like, do like a P5, a gram. That's it. That is it. And then we're able to have a conversation while laughing at shit. But we'll see what happens. But me and Anton, we've talked about doing the history of mushrooms and then maybe being on mushrooms while we talk about the history. But I think that might get a little mucky.
Bro, that episode's going to deteriorate into 45 minutes of just giggling.
I know. But I do want to do a live stream, either if it's just with you on mushrooms. It is a plan. We had a vote on the Hose Heads page. We're going to get a little off topic on this one just a bit, but I want to shout this out that we had a poll on the Hose Heads page on Facebook. Should Billy do mushrooms on a live stream? Somebody posted it and like 40 people said that he should. And then he added a poll and it said, how about you guys leave me alone? Because he's so scared to do it because he did it once and he freaked out because he ate the other half of his brother's mushrooms.
Poor Billy. You are a very peer pressure centric friend.
Hey, without peer pressure, you don't have any friends, man.
That's not true.
Yeah, if you don't have peer pressure, you don't have peers. You don't have friends, man. No one's peer pressuring you. You're a fucking loser.
Or your friends are just cool and not dicks about stuff. So
yeah, so obviously, you know, they're building, they're mining, they're just showing up to this island. They're getting into it. They really want to get this iron. It's made of iron, sir. They want to get the iron, and they attracted a hodgepodge of ethnicities from literally Irish, English, like you said, Scottish, German, and Estonian. And I'm Estonian. All of them mingling together and coming to work in the mines. And you have the Irish fighting the Scottish all day, and the British. Can you guys stop this? That's Irish. Do a British accent and tell them to fucking stop it.
Now listen, we've been very kind of you coming in here and doing all your fuckery, but I'd appreciate it if you'd stop the fighting, please.
The Germans like, can we start another war?
You know, this is a wonderful, peaceful civilization that you have here. It would be a shame if somebody, I don't know, maybe invaded a country and started in a civil war.
This is like just before the First World War, too. So pretty crazy. So by the 1950s, Bell Island was considered one of the largest iron ore mining operations in the fucking world, and incorporated towns such as, what a banana. No, it's
maybe, baby.
It's Wabanana.
It attracted parasites and dregs of society.
Cringe.
A haven for various criminals, misfits, and stowaways, feeding off the underbelly of all this success. Yeah,
so it was, of course, attracted parasites and dregs of society, a haven, obviously, of like criminals, like fucking Anton said, misfits, stowaways, obviously, and they're feeding off the underbelly of all the success because people are making money. Probably the people that actually own the mining equipment and all that stuff, not actually the people in the mines. Most times they were being blown off, their limbs would be gone, and they would be crushed by rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Most times. Mostly.
But of course, the elite view them as disposable labor, so they don't care.
It's true. And it was all, by all accounts, it was fairly a rough place to live. Well, of course it was. And it was also a place full of some intriguing tales of the supernatural and strange things like we often talk about.
You mean to tell me an early mining community was a rough and tumble place to live? No fucking way.
I got the black.
Down there for one day, Derek. One day.
You always make that reference. It's fucking hilarious. Also, because when we're recording, it is St. Patrick's Day. I was telling everyone at work, I was like, "Have you seen fucking Boondock Saints? Such a good fucking movie, man. One of my favorite movies of all time is Boondock Saints."
The movie's fine. It's more fun. Look, I loved it when I was a teenager, and then you get older and you're like, it's just a couple of Irish dudes murdering people that don't follow their Catholic ways.
That's awesome.
Yes, that's great.
That's what war is all about, bro. Just murder each other because you don't agree with me.
It's just
or
murder.
because you have biotech labs and fucking child trafficking underground tunnels. One of the most common stories whispered amongst the locals of this place orbited in the expense wetlands. Orbited? Yeah, I guess that's right. One of the most common stories whispered amongst the locals of this place orbited the expansive wetlands and the bogs of the area called Butler's Marsh.
Not to
Butler's
be
Marsh.
confused with Stan Marsh.
Stupid.
I know.
Butler's Marsh. Here they are said to roam malignant, vicious fairies that were not shy about attacking anyone who crossed in their domain. It's pretty interesting considering we are talking about this on St. Paddy's Day and there's fairies, and Irish people love fairies.
Fairy godparents! Sorry. you can't say the F word without me freaking out. It's a nervous tick.
That's true. But it is kind of coincidental, and I don't really believe in coincidences. I know you do.
No, you don't.
But
Tom believes that nothing, not a single thing in this world happens as coincidence. Not
everything happens for a reason.
One single thing.
Everything is in succession and all correlates. It's all synchronicity. But it is one of my there's so many favorite episodes I have, but one of my most favorite episodes that me and Billy have ever done was our fairies episode. It is gold, very funny episode. We get into what fairies, goblins, and fucking gremlins and gnomes, and it is just a riot. And it was just fun. It's just such a stupid, strange topic. It's just like, it's unbelievable, but people really believe in it. And who knows? Because I've seen some weird footage and some weird shit that who knows. Go back to our St. Paddy's Day episode, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, weird shit that's unexplainable. Look at the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Yeah, same pants, man. Fucking pants, dude. Just walking jeans, man. So these fairies were said not to only attack islanders, I'm an island boy, or lure them to their doom out of the marsh, but also they would abduct children and cause all manner of illnesses and misfortune, and pretty much anything that went wrong on this island was blamed on them. And you know who started this, right? The Irish. Goddamn fairies!
Not just the Irish, it's the Welsh, the Celts, like all of that old old-timey island beliefs, because the Fae were considered trickster gods and mischievous people.
The fucking Irish and Scottish are fucking fist fighting, and then he's like, there's like a explosion happens, like that wasn't time problem, and he was like, "It's the goddamn fairies," and then the Scottish are like, "It was the fairies," and then they finally agree on something because they're like they're arguing and fighting the whole time until they both mention fairies. They look at each other and like, "I think you're onto something." They pull out their hands and start shaking each other's hands. Then they punch each other in the face quick, and it's like, "Fairies, right? Fairies." Can you do a Scottish accent? Do a banter between the Irish and the Scottish.
That's not happening right now. That
Can
takes
you do
a little
Scottish
practice.
accent? Scottish is hard for me. I think it's easier.
Scottish is a little more gruff than Irish. You know, you gotta really push the brogue through your fucking throat.
It's funny because Chelsea's stepdad is Scottish. Amazing dude. Always gives me beer. And I hang with him all the time. He's got a pretty thick accent. I still can't do a very good Scottish accent. All I know is the windy. He cuts down words like the windy and for window, and it's actually pretty funny. They use a lot of slang actually.
Just watch every culture does, of course. But watch a bunch of Mike Myers Scottish voice.
Oh shit. Yes. For everyone who's never seen it, I Married an Axe Murderer. Mm-hmm. Great movie. Very funny. Heed, move. It's like a goddamn satellite. I can't, I love that movie.
Give your mother a kiss before I punch you in the face.
So it was obviously, it was said that it was not common for people passing the area to carry the Bible with them, because in Bible passages to actually ward off creatures or bread in order to offer them for safe passage. Here you go, you little fatty. I'll give you some bread.
No, so that's always been a thing, is you bring bread with you as you go into the forest. The one video that I watched of the people that were fairy hunting carried bread with them.
No, they gotta leave crumb trails so they can make their way back out of the forest, and so they don't get abducted by the witch that wants to eat them.
No, that's Danish. You're mixing up your fucking mythology now.
And Newfoundland playwright Robert Calf once called them mean, twisted, sinister creatures. These fairies were said to not only attack islanders and lure them to their doom out of the marsh, but like I said, they would abduct children and cause illness and a bunch of misfortune. And if you go back to even our fairies, goblins, and gremlins episode, we talk about that and how crazy and deep that actual story in folklore goes, where they abduct children and what's it called?
The changelings.
The changelings, and then they don't they morph them into fairies? Why I did
so basically it was a way for people to explain away getting rid of their burdenous children. So the children that had malformities and the children who were maybe a little bit slower or had some developmental disabilities.
The retarded children.
That beep did nothing, but yes.
I did it on the audios.
Okay. But so that was the thing where it was like, oh, you have a kid that's sick. It's like, that's not my kid, that's a fairy. And then, the town would come together and be like, well, we have to kill the fairy. So
just chuck it over a fucking cliff.
Kinda.
It's like the Chinese did. They throw them out windows.
That's what the Spartans did too.
Fuck crazy. So obviously anything that went wrong on the island, all the Irish and everyone else would blame it on the fairies.
Yeah, and the rest of the world would just blame it on the Irish, as usual.
It's true. Goddamn potato eaters.
Like that scene in Blazing Saddles that I won't say because it'll get us canceled.
It's so crazy that I absolutely love Mel Brooks and I've never seen Blazing Saddles. It's so weird, and that's what I'm saying. So I've never seen it. So that's maybe for your podcast when it comes out. I don't know. Maybe I should save it till then.
It's gonna be kind of hard to do an episode about that without dropping an N-bomb every 5 minutes.
You just don't say it. You just fucking bleep it out. You just say the. Just joking. Jesus Christ. I remember at the beginning of the podcast, I was like, I got Jamaican family. I can say whatever the fuck I want. And it's like, no, I can't. I'm not Billy, where he's like, Alex is black. I can say the N-word.
Yeah, you can say the N-word around Alex when he gives you a pass, but that's about it. You can't just walk around saying it and be like, it's cool, I got a pass.
So there are supposed supernatural denizens? What does that mean?
Resident.
Just what? Just people that live there? I don't cringe.
Yes, Tom. Learn to pronounce a fucking word, you son of a bitch.
To join the evil fairies of Bell Island. Considering the ambitious mining operations going on and the lack of any real safety precautions, they were probably sent the children in there, the Irish children, or whatever. Actually, probably was all sorts of children, to use their tiny little hands to put the wicks of the dynamite in there and stuff them in the holes.
They go boom and blow up.
Yeah, so I'm quite sure that there were children going, I got the black lung.
Nothing quite like a bunch of clumsy ass children handling sticks of nitroglycerin.
Yeah, and it didn't end well because once they breathed in the black smoke, they got abnormalities, and then the Irish were like they're changelings. We should throw them off the cliff. So obviously I couldn't imagine. It's just crazy because there's places still that have really bad safety precautions when it comes to working on this earth right now. So I couldn't imagine in the 18th century, and it's just like, we don't even put people on harnesses. We don't give a shit. They can just go down there. If they drown, they drown.
Yeah. Just that, like those famous pictures of people sitting on girders and building skyscrapers and shit with no harnesses whatsoever. It's like
mind-boggling. I'm afraid of heights, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, same. But every time I see those pictures, the first thought in my head is, how many people fell on a daily basis? You had to lose at least one worker a day, right?
Obviously, it is crazy the balls that these motherfuckers had, and to build skyscrapers. And Billy, for my bachelor party, whenever I decided to get married, he was drinking and he was talking about it, and he was like, you know what we're gonna do? And I was like, I just want to get like a houseboat. I think that'd be fun. And honestly, if Trudeau's Hitler ass just shuts the fuck up and ends the restrictions, or like Jordan Peterson said, resigns, because he should. Jordan Peterson told him if he had any sense, he would resign. And Jordan Peterson
happen, dude. We're inching closer and closer towards
World Economic
oblivion.
Forum. and the digital pass and the digital ID and the digital currency. But Jordan Peterson is a very intellectual individual and is very correct with things he says about Trudeau. But it would be awesome because you come from a bachelor party, but fucking Billy wants us to go skydiving, and he's fucking shitless afraid of heights the same as I am, but he wants to do it, and he's like, we could do it together. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Chelsea's like, I'll do it. I'm like,
so your first jump, you have to be strapped to somebody else.
I would never go by myself. I wouldn't even go with anyone. I would probably faint.
Your instructor, you'll be strapped to their chest, basically.
I know that. And Billy's like, you'll be strapped to someone. They know what they're doing. I was like, till they don't, and their fucking parachute doesn't fucking work, and I'm dead.
Well, you don't have to know what you're doing until, it's like, they know what they're doing. I'm sure, yes, they know when to pull the cord, when's the safe, but what happens if that cord don't work and the backup cord don't work?
Or what happens if I land on a mysterious island like in Jurassic Park 3 and I get stuck up on a tree and a fucking velociraptor eats my ass?
It'll make for good content. Just make sure you're filming.
I just want to mention that because Billy's like, yeah, we could, we'll go skydiving. I was like, I don't want to fucking do that, man. I will literally cry. I don't cry often in my life, but I would cry going up in a plane. Looking down, I would probably just faint and follow the plane anyway.
I think I would have a heart attack on the way down.
Me too.
Like legitimately, I think my heart might give out.
I can't do it. Billy is he's like, we're gonna do it. And I'm like, we'll see. I'll watch you from the ground do it, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go next. I won't do it.
No, fuck that. You guys should go to one of those indoor skydiving places with the giant fans.
Oh, we have one called the Flying Squirrel.
Nice.
So obviously, with lack of safety precautions, many miners met their doom down in those dark, dank tunnels. And indeed, many of the mines of the Bell Island are said to be prowled by specter phantom miners. I could imagine so. And if I could ever make it out here, I'd probably go check it out. I don't give a fuck about that. I can swim really well, so I could give two shits about going to a mysterious island. I'd rather not jump out of a plane.
Yeah.
But it would be, there's so many stories, I'm sure we'll get into one eventually, about like haunted mines and stuff like that. And you see a light and then you get closer and nobody's there. Or people see like the headlight that they put on their helmets and stuff like that. And I'm quite sure there's probably many of them, because I could imagine hundreds of people died just like Oak Island and to try to find some gold or iron or whatever. Right. So while ghostly miners and malicious fairies might seem scary enough, perhaps one of the most famous paranormal yarns of this island is said what is called the Bell Island Hag. I can't believe Billy on the fucking St. Patty's Day episode was like, can you say hag anymore? I was like, it just means old bitch. Why is that a thing?
It means old crone.
Yeah, why is that bad?
Because he's associating it with the term fag hag.
What's fag hag mean?
It means a woman who hangs out with gay people.
Who cares?
It's a term. It's just a thing. It used to be something that people called themselves as a badge of honor, where they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fag hag." It's like Chelsea, a girl that all of her friends are gay.
Chelsea always wanted a gay friend, and I was like, "You could have Anton." But the funny thing is, she's like, "Yeah, obviously I'd hang out with Anton," but she's like, she wants like a flamboyant. Gay
no, I'm
friend.
a bad gay friend because, like, I mean, it's like that time that we were. I'm sure I told that story before, where we were at. My father called me because one of his friends was having his fucking stag party, and it was supposed to just be, hey, we're drunk, come hang out with us and have a drink at the bar. It was like, all right, cool. So I showed up, and then they were like, we're gonna go to another bar. Can you drive us? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, whatever. I'm like, I gotta work early, so I'm cutting out early, just so you guys know. And it ended up turning into them dragging me with them to two different strip clubs. And my dad is fucking hammered at this point. And
your dad seems like an awesome guy.
He is. He's super cool. The one stripper comes over and she's like, hey baby, do you want to dance? And like talking to me and shit. And my dad just looks at her and he goes, he's gay. Just talk to him about shoes. and I just dead ass look at him and I'm just like, fuck you.
Shoes. Let's get some shoes.
Shoes.
That's like, I just thought that was funny because she's like, she wants a flamboyant. And I was like, I don't know about that, but
yeah, I barely even qualify as gay. I'm fucking queer, for fuck's sake.
I know, and we're watching.
And in vaginas, and it won't be the last time.
gayest thing I'll ever say was we randomly will watch Big Brother, and the Big Brother Canada just came out, and I was getting angry because they're like, there's two gay guys on here. It's like, my pronouns are this and that, and then the next guy's like, my pronouns is he and they, and it's just like, and I'm like, I don't get it. Who gives a fuck, man? If you look like a boy, I'm calling you he. If you look like a girl, I'm calling you she. If you look like in between, I'm not gonna talk to you. Just joking. I'm just
rude. And those opinions do not represent Strange Brew Podcast.
No, I am just fucking goddamn kidding. I am kidding. I am kidding. I don't mean
Tom would
anything.
Totally blow a tranny. He's not bigoted in the least bit. He believes that, you know, all
as long as they're cut, no smegmas.
Yeah, fucking high five on that, buddy.
That's so funny. Yeah, there's like we said, never take anything seriously on Strange Brew. You can take my Instagram very seriously, but just don't take the podcast serious, because that's our whole thing is everybody love everybody. Mm-hmm. And don't take anything seriously. Really don't.
It's a joke, not a dick, so don't let it come on your face.
Obviously, like the ghostly miners, creepy, right? Fairies seems fun. I know they take children and stuff, but fairies seem fun. The story, and so we're talking about the Bell Island Hag. So the story here begins in the years during World War II, when the waters off Bell Island were prowled. They love the word prowled in this article, by German U-boats. And obviously, you know, I don't know how close they got to over here. I don't think they got that close, but on occasion,
we'll never know.
That's true. We'll never know. On occasion, the sailors aboard the submarines would sneak onto the island in order to resupply and obviously ferret out their sympathizers, which is weird.
Get a quick rub and tug from the fairies.
Yeah, I know. Literally, and the Germans are like, you can do an accent. You'll know what I like. I can't find.
Sometimes last time we surfaced, yeah, there was some lights coming from the woods, and they were beckoning me very closely, and went over, and they touched my bratwurst. Yeah, they rub and tug the bratwurst until the yogurt spilled all over the leaves. It was a good time.
You know, there's some fan fiction about Tinkerbell out there, guaranteed.
Tinkerbell was a fucking pedophile, okay?
Was she?
Yeah, she groomed Peter Pan, if we're going by the Hook one.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
She's a fucking adult that groomed Peter Pan. It's not okay. Cancel Tinkerbell. Cancel Tinkerbell.
Julia Roberts, okay?
Yeah, Julia Roberts the bitch.
I'm sure they're all drinking blood right now and just cheersing to the chaos that is ensuing all over the world. So it's funny they go to this island, they're trying to find their sympathizers. Why don't you go a little further down south and go to Argentina for that?
I'm sure y'all had German sympathizers in your country.
I'm sure we all did. There's a weird conspiracy. Oh my god, I remember seeing it on, of course, TikTok, but there was a teacher talking about it, and it was in a classroom. Literally, I saw the video and I was like, weird. And this is like a while ago, like not in these recent years, but in like the 80s or something. And they're talking about there's some connection to Nazi Germany and Canada, and how there was all these sympathizers here, and they created a movement. I have to look that up again because it's fucking weird, dude.
Have you ever seen that picture from Madison Square Garden? And we're getting off topic, but that picture from Madison Square Garden where it was full of Nazis at one point in time, pre-World War II. Like the American National Socialist Party was big.
Yeah. Same with the Communist Party. At the time when communism started to take off, there was a lot of people that supported it. It was all over, even like, you know, blacks and Hispanics, or there's a bunch of different ethnicities that actually support communism and Nazism at the time before they realized what it was going to turn into. History is a strange thing. And
before we had historical examples and propaganda to teach us otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now everything is propaganda. Obviously, so according to this tale, a young servant girl from the Upper Island Cove happened across these German. What the fuck? I lost Anton. I lost him. Where'd he go? Where'd you go? What the fuck just happened?
We're good.
Wait, I was like, what just happened?
I was like,
Jesus. I was like, we lost him. He's gone.
Gone. The fairies got me. Tom, I'm normal, Anton.
Are you is the bad Anton?
I'm normal, Anton. My eyebrows aren't pointier. My mustache isn't a little pointier.
Very Odd Parents was a good show.
I'm not a changeling.
Oh, yeah. So, according to this tale, a young servant girl from the Upper Island Cove happened across some of these German sailors on the island, who promptly took her captive, and dragged her out to the marsh to fucking kill her.
Daddy, chill.
Chill, daddy, chill.
Wrong fucking one, but it's okay. So they took her. This is for the audio sake, because a lot of times Twitch you get the raw cut, and YouTube, if I'm lazy, you get the raw cut. Because a lot of our listeners are audio, thousands of people audio. YouTube, people tune in sometimes. According to the tale of a young servant girl from Upper Island Cove, happened across some of these German sailors on the island, who promptly took her captive and dragged her out to the marsh to kill her ass. So you don't want to mess with some German sailors. So other locals had apparently heard her cries for help, but had assumed it was a trick carried out by the fairies. Of course they did. It's like these fairies are playing tricks, just like the Vietnamese did to the American, or the American soldiers did to the Vietnamese when they played the ghostly sounds. You remember that? You remember the ghostly sounds that they played in the jungle in Vietnam, thinking that the Vietnamese people were stupid.
Yeah.
And they're like, they just followed the sound and then killed the American soldiers that were there. Ridiculous. On TikTok, someone commented about how I'm a traitor because of the things because I spoke out against the American military. And you just look at the reptilian account. It got a lot of views. And I kind of called him out, and someone was like,
I love bootlickers. They're just some of the dumbest motherfuckers you'll ever meet.
They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so I replied in a snide video, and someone was like, "Oh, I'm not worried about you pussies in Canada." I was like, "We've never lost a war. There's a reason why we call the snow troopers. We used to do coke and fucking fuck people up."
Yeah, I don't know why you've never lost a war, because you generally don't go around starting them.
It's really true, other than Trudeau, but he starts his own wars with his own citizens. But it is funny because Canadians can be crazy as they come if you push us to the edge. We started a worldwide movement, so go fuck yourself.
I think more often than not, it really just comes down to the invading force rarely conquers the way that they want to, at least in the modern sense.
Well, that's what I was about to say too. Is that I said to him, I was like, some guy's like, he's like, I'm not afraid, and I was like, he's like, you guys are pussies, whatever. I was like, your military sucks, something like that. And I was like, yo, you guys got beat by a bunch of Vietnamese people in holes, just digging up holes, and they were smart enough to follow like sound, like they play ghost music. Oh, we're gonna scare the Vietnamese, and then they just killed them all. Like they just followed the sound. You think these people don't know what radios are? And fucking...
Well, no, it's a much more complicated issue than that. Like the reason that America lost Vietnam is both because of political division at home, calling for the war to end,
and yes, agreed,
and as well as the inability of a lot of the naval. Like I hear stories from my grandfather all the time, but basically, like if the Navy would have been allowed to open fire and just shell the fucking coastline, war would have been over real quick.
No, and the whole thing with Agent Orange too is a topic for another day. I would like to dive back into war, and especially wars like Vietnam and stuff eventually on this podcast, because the Vietnam War, if you go back and listen to the Soldiers on Drugs episode, it's a riot. It's fucking sloppy, but it was at the beginning of the podcast, and we talk about all this type of stuff because I watched like 14 hours of Vietnam documentaries, and then Billy's like, oh, he's just sleeping, going kill, kill, kill.
Most people don't realize that Agent Orange is only the tip of the iceberg. There are many more agents that were also responsible for, decades and generations of health issues.
Yeah, Ari the Rugged Man, a very intelligent, good rapper. His father was a Green Beret, and all of Ari the Rugged Man's brothers and sisters were all born with mental handicaps and physical handicaps because of the exposure his father had to Agent Orange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are still being born in Vietnam with severe birth defects because of it. Because it got into the groundwater and it just fucked everything up.
Yep. Do your history. Other locals had apparently heard the cries for help and had assumed it would have been a trick, obviously, for the fairies. So they did nothing to stop it. When this girl was kidnapped by German soldiers, This was perhaps a bad move, as the suffering and horror of the girl endured and seemed to have make sure she stuck around after her death. And also known as the hag with two faces, the Bell Island hag is appeared to at first be a beautiful woman dressed in white, who blooms out of the shadows to the entrance for those who see her. Blooms out of the shadows to make a grand entrance for those who see her. And however she draws closer, the woman begins then to transform, much like a lot of Japanese folklore. Her immaculate white dress turning gray and deteriorating into tatters as it falls to all fours, while a horrid, putrid stench fills the air. This would be incredibly scary, in my opinion.
Stinkest stench of rot.
So the hag will then take on, obviously a foul stench and a wormed out face. So her face will start to deteriorate, her body will deteriorate, and there'll be a bunch of worms coming out of her face, like it's James the Giant Peach. And a stench is so bad that it has been described as paralyzing, where it's so foul smelling that you're just gagging and you want to throw up, and you can't even move and think.
Do you ever go for like walks in the woods, especially right after a heavy rainstorm?
Yeah. Oh, it
and
stinks.
The smell of decay.
Yeah, it just smells like worms and shit. It's pretty gross.
No, I'm not talking about the normal scent of that. I'm saying when you smell death, like
the world's a graveyard, man. I've always said that. The entire world's a graveyard.
Right, but you know what I'm talking about, right? The very distinct smell of death, like the same thing that detectives describe, where they're like, we arrived on the premises, and as soon as we opened the door, all you could smell was death. That's not a euphemism. Death has a smell. Like,
what's dead?
Well, decay has a smell.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like, it's one of those things that I think once you recognize it, it's always in your brain. Like, because I go for walks in the woods all the time, and like I love going camping and shit. And
Anton found a dead body, like he was in.
Never found a dead body. That would be, dude. It would probably fuck me up. I'm not good with like shit like that. But even like finding I found animal remains before, and it has a very offensive, very strong, like right up the nose. You're getting hit in the face with it. Oh,
you want to see a dead body? Stand by Me.
Want to see a dead body?
Stand By Me is one of my favorite movies. I have so many favorite movies, but I love
Stephen King is a hack.
He is. He didn't write his own books. I believe he is a ghostwriter, or he has a ghostwriter. My opinion.
No, he is a ghostwriter.
He killed John Lennon.
Look, I support your ideas and a lot of your theories. That one is a little far-fetched, buddy.
I don't know. I told you, right? A guy was driving around and I was plastered all over his fucking van.
What's Tom's favorite Pokemon? Far-fetched.
Is that actually a Pokemon?
Farfetch, I believe, is a Pokemon. It's the duck with the leek.
It's got
with the onion.
Huh. Charizard. All right, so
you're Farfetch.
So obviously it's the smell gluing the victim to the spot where they stand, causing them to double over and wrench and throw up. And the Bell Hag is also such a popular legend that she is immortalized with the Canada post-Halloween theme stamp. I did not know that.
What?
Yeah, and she continues to live on in local folklore. I don't collect stamps. I'm not some weird fucking nerd. I've never seen this. Who collects stamps, man? People that collect stamps and like coins. Coins makes a little sense because eventually you can make money off it. Not much, but you could. But fucking losers, man. Look up the Bell Island Hag stamp collection.
That's what I'm doing right now. Oh, that's fucking dope. I want that.
What? I want to see it.
Type in Bell Island Hag. It's a holographic stamp. Dude, that thing looks so cool.
I'll throw it up on the stream. I'll there. This is the audio, but give me a second. People waiting because this is my slower computer. Loading.
This looks like it's about to be the start of some weird porno.
The Bell.
Not the stamp, but another image that came up in the search for the stamp. I was like, that's weird.
That's weird.
That's weird. That's fucking weird.
Oh, this thing is fucking sick.
You know what I'm saying? If you get your hands on one, you got to send me one.
What?
Yep, 2016. Oh, they made a coin? Dude, they made a quarter with the thing on it.
All right, we're going to show the people Oh, they didn't make a coin. I'm gonna. Wow, I've never fucking seen this shit.
You got it. You got to get your hands on that and send me a stamp, dude. I want a whole.
Man,
I want a whole sheet of
how
them.
would I
Those are
get
fucking
that? I'm gonna
sweet.
find out where I can order this from. I'll put it on my background. I don't give a fuck. I'll put it on. Stick it on my wall. We're gonna show everybody in 1 second. Give me a sec. This is pretty awesome, actually. I was like super surprised. I've never seen this. I know we do some weird shit to do with stamps. I don't know why. I don't know who's using stamps to mail anything anymore.
People, normal people.
Normal people. Who's normal, man? Nobody.
Not you.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm a normality. Okay. Pulling it up. Rate Diddy Mao. So everybody, check this shit. Fucking pretty cool, man.
Oh, that one doesn't even do it justice because it's got like holographic shit all over it.
Pretty fucking awesome, actually. That's a very cool. I'm gonna splice this into the art for this episode.
Dude, I found a quarter and the stamp combo thing for $28 Canadian.
What? All right, send
Yeah.
that link to me. That's pretty fucking awesome.
No, I'm
That thing
buying it.
is
Fuck you.
sick.
There's 4 available.
Oh, that's fucking cool as fuck. So, other locals obviously heard her cries and did nothing. Whoops, throwback. So obviously, you know, she comes out and her smell, she's very stinky. And she's been immortalized in this legend. Besides all of these ghost tales, Bell Island has another unsolved mystery that occurred on April 2nd, 1978, when a loud explosion reverberated. Reverberated. There we go. Cringe. When a loud explosion reverberated through the region to damage homes and blow out windows, as well as to leave 2 square craters within the ground. Square, okay? No geometrics in nature.
Those are some big nasty craters.
So they have been written about. Obviously, what has gone on to be called when they wrote about it, it went on to be called the Bell Island Boom. Before it, and it has been speculated as being everything from a massive lightning superbolt to a secret military testing, which makes sense. I probably think the physical part of it would be the military doing some strange ass shit on this strange ass island that has a bunch of strange ass supernatural activity. And also they talk about that it's connected to aliens, maybe a like a weapon being used, an atomic weapon being used, obviously. And yeah, vibrated would have been a better word, Dutch. But it but it has never been truly solved. Whatever it was, it only adds to the mystique of this strange, isolated island. And this book was so fucking interesting because the mine closed in 1966, and since then the population of Bell Island has dropped dramatically. Why would you live there in the fucking first place? Obviously, you're not mining anymore, so why would you live on this crazy ferry-ridden, weird explosion, old hag haunted island?
Why do people live in Alaska? Why do people live near volcanoes? Why do people live near fault lines? They're everywhere on this planet's going to kill you.
Yeah, I guess. You know who owns the island now, right? Zach Baggins. Zach Baggins bought the whole island with his millions of dollars.
No, he did not.
I'm just joking.
Oh, if he had the money, you know he fucking would.
This is Ghost Adventures. I'm really scared, man. There's something possessing me.
What's up, y'all? It's Paranormal Lockdown.
Paranormal Lockdown was way better. But it has been enjoyed it has enjoyed a modest amount of success as a tourist attraction, which if I can make it out there, I've also said to like my to Chelsea that like I would, instead of going out west, which I've been out west, I've seen the big mountains, and you know you drive for a long time through stretches of land of boring shit. I would go out east. I've never seen out east. I would like to see like Newfoundland and Nova Scotia and all that. I would like to go out that way instead. And I still got to make it to the States when these restrictions hopefully end, because everyone's like, oh, wow, we don't have to wear masks anymore. And we're able to go into restaurants, run vaccinated, or go to concerts. But it's just like, what about the travel restrictions that are still happening where you can't leave your country? I'm a prisoner in my own country. That's an issue.
The digital passports are on their way, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
till I fucking burn my cell phone in a fucking pot of molten lava. Lava.
Yeah, I would say that it should be every person's life goal that has two different oceans on either side of their nation.
Yeah.
To go in both of them. Like,
I've never been.
I've been in both the Atlantic and the Pacific.
I remember I have been to BC. I think I was like 10 when I went to BC, but it's been a while. So. And since then, obviously, the population has dropped. There's tourist attractions, which droves of visitors taking the ferry out from the nearby St. John's to enjoy the natural splendor and the spooky tales of this island getaway. It is very interesting just how much strange phenomenon this little speck of land has managed to attach itself to. And although it may all be just a misunderstanding and spooky tales, it is certainly an intriguing story of a faraway place harboring deep secrets we've never really comprehended.
Like, just why are they island boys?
Because I'm an island boy and the fairies fuck me. So everybody out there, we're doing a little shout out for all the new Patreon comers. So let's mention these fuckers. I keep doing the Irish accent because it's St. Paddy's Day, and I was stupid.
Go stuff your face with corned beef and then take a fucking.
Ooh, we just got somebody new too. Wow, some people are supporting. I appreciate everyone that supports the Patreon. Right now I'm trying to figure out how do I look up to who follows us.
You go look up your patrons.
View profile. Give me a second, everybody, because this will be cut out of the audio. Oh yeah, fuckers. All right, come on. Here we go. No, I don't want to know. You good? Last 30 days. Why isn't this pulling up? Why isn't it pulling up? Patreon. Why can't I? Okay, so shout out to More Durrell. That's the homeboy. He's a very big fan. Kaylee Wheeler. We also have Raiden Schulman, which he was someone who we're talking about for Patreon. Maybe actually doing small, 15-minute interviews with some fans and hearing ghost stories from them, because specifically Raiden Schulman messaged me on Instagram and said he's got a really interesting UFO story. So we'll also be doing that going forward. If people have stories, we might interview you for 10, 15 minutes and ask about if you have any paranormal or ghost stories or something strange you can tell us, and we'll put that on Patreon for all the listeners. Trendon James Cole Prentice. We have James Harrington. Terry Bernard. Terry was on there. We got Dutch Rudder. Of course we have Dutch. Dutch is a big fan, and we love Dutch. We got Paul Hoover. And I feel like there is more, but if can't seem to find the last guy that just jumped on, because we've had a bunch of people starting to jump on the Patreon. So we highly appreciate everyone that supports Keeping the World Strange. And I said to get the maple syrup minion tier, which is the only tier we have right now, is $3. You get video content, audio content, bonus episodes. We still are really trying to dig into our real reviews, which the first one will be Strange Brew. We think it's appropriate. So we have all these ideas for Patreon. So if you jump on there, we'll be trying to be putting out a couple episodes a month, 2 to 3, and stuff like that for everyone that supports the podcast. So for everyone out there, we really do appreciate everything you do, because this does cost money at points of putting it in, being able to stream it everywhere we can. And it does, merch sites cost money and stuff like that too, to an extent, because we try to give you the cheapest, best merch that we can. So the best way to support us is Patreon and buying merch and repping us on a t-shirt. And the new design will be out very, very soon. We
do this because we love it. Even if y'all weren't supporting it, we'd still be doing it. So
100%.
But we appreciate all of you. And, you're helping us keep the lights on and hopefully, we're bringing you the best content that we can. But a call-in Patreon thing should be something we should pursue, even if it's just a Discord where people pop into the audio and then tell the story, and then we take another audio, person jumping in and what have you. It should be fairly easy to do.
Yeah, and we have also talks to create voicemail where you can leave us messages, so that shall be interesting. We've had talks
That's
about
super easy to do, yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about going to do that forward, and specifically Patreon listeners, I think would they would be first in line to get their voicemails out on the end of episodes. I think it would be something fun and interesting to do. You can even, we'll give you like a 2-minute window or something, 2-3 minute window where you can maybe express your love for us and how we entertain you, but also maybe share a fun, strange story that you may have. So we just want to shout that out because I want to start doing that, shouting out the people that support the Patreon, and also giving new ideas for Patreon and telling you what is coming on the docket for episodes of Patreon and all that stuff. So, if you feel inclined to, that's how you support us. The best way to support us is merch and Patreon.
Yep, you're going to get access to everything a little bit earlier than everybody else is, that's for sure.
And full on, like, right now, the St. Patty's Day episode me, Anton, and Billy did for the first time was a lot of fun. You get the full 2 hours, like 10 minutes of what we did.
We got drunk. We went off.
We got drunk and we went off. But that's all part of the fun because you will get raw cuts of the Strange Brew podcast specials. So you know where to find us, www.strangebrewpodcast.com. I just updated the website to an extent. It'll be updated soon with all the new merch designs and stuff like that too. And Anton, what do you got to say?
Stay strange, fuckers, and fairies.
You can also follow Anton at do your shout outs.
I was gonna say they know all my stuff. Instagram, HP Shelfcraft, Twitter, Strange Brew Podcast, or Real Strange Brew on Twitter.
Yes.
Invader Daggett _TTV. Come hang out while I stream. Dutch is always there, so much love to Dutch.
Anton's doing very well, in my opinion, on Twitch. He's getting numbers up there.
I got paid, motherfucker.
Yeah, there you go. I'm super excited. Me and Anton will be doing a lot of streams on Dead by Daylight and a lot of strange games. Like we love playing. We eventually want to beat fucking Devour one day, but we'll get there.
We need, so that's another thing we're gonna open up for the Patreon is we're gonna have slots in some of our video games and our streams and shit. And for some of you special fuckers, we're gonna run like a contest or a poll or something like that. And
that's a very good idea.
Just, come up with a fun little catchphrase or whatever. I had a really fun idea the other day, Tom. We should get Strange Brew Bingo that we start, which we'll make digital cards because there's apps you can just have them refresh. And then we could do Strange Brew the drinking game, which is like anytime Tom mispronounces a word, take a shot.
Reptilians.
Anytime I say take a shot. Reptilians.
It's also the Reptilian Bingo. Trudeau. Yes, that's a good idea. That was started by
C19.
Yes, that was started by actually Terry, a big fan of this podcast, also, who started the Reptilian Bingo. That every time I say reptilian, but it would make sense to incorporate other words that we use. If I use the word fuck, that you'll win every time. So that's a great idea. But also, if you want to stream with us, especially on games like slots for like Devour. Maybe Phasmophobia. Those games are cheap. They're $5, $15. So if you're someone who streams on PC and plays PC games, or even Dead by Daylight, you could also jump on us with that. And that's a very good idea. It's the first time Anton told me about that. I think that's a great idea for the Patreon, is that you'll be able to literally play a video game with us and then talk with us, and it will be a lot of fun. So we love everybody that has tuned in. We just wanted to kind of shout out at the end of this because it was a smaller form topic, and normally me and Anton go off and talk about it for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we made a lot of banter in this episode, and it's still at an hour. So we just wanted to shout out everything that was going to happen going forward with the Patreon. So best way to support us. We thank you very much. And
we
stay
love
strange.
You all.
We love you all. Stay strange.